Okay, thanks everybody for turning up to this grammar clinic session today. My name is Kieran. I am your English support tutor here on the Manchester campus of Elizabeth School of London. So this is the first of 12 grammar clinics we're going to have, and each grammar clinic is going to look at a different part of English grammar. And it is all going to be focused on getting your grammar up to a good level for you to get a good score on your assignments through writing and speaking, etc. Okay, so each lesson is going to be focused on things that will really help you. Well, that's what we're trying to do anyway. Okay, so the highlight of today's lesson is going to be present tenses. Okay, and then as we go through the course, we'll have a look at the past, the future, and then even more complex grammar after that. Okay, so it may be that some of it you already know. It might be some stuff that you don't know, and that's cool. That's cool. Um, so it's going to start off a little bit easy and then get more and more complicated. And I hope that's okay with everybody. So, this is our agenda for today. We are going to have a look at the different forms of the present tenses. Then we will look at the function, so how we can use them. Then we will look at the context of the tenses, so in what situations we would use them. And then we're also going to practice using these as well. Okay, so let's begin. Let's begin then. So we're going to have a look at the present simple to begin with. Okay. So our question is going to be, how do we make the present simple? So as you can see here on the screen, it is quite simple. Okay, so if we're going to use the present simple form, this is we use the subject. So I, he, she, it, we, they, you, plus the verb in its basic form. So we don't use to. Okay, so if we are using I, or we, or they, or you, we just use the verb as it is. So here the example is work. So I work, we, they, you work. But he, she, it is a little bit different because we put an S on the end of it. Okay, and this works with every type of verb. So if we use the verb play, it would be I play, we, they, you play, and he, she, it plays with an S at the end. Okay, but 90% of the time we just add S, but there are some other occasions when we don't do that. Okay, so normally if it's he, she, it, we add S like we have there, but on those other occasions we either add ES or we add IES. So if our verb ends with the letters CH or SH, SS, O, ZZ, or X, then we add on ES. Okay, so if we have a look at our example here, we've got the verb watch. So watch ends in CH, so that means we need to add ES. Okay, so it would be watch, watches. Okay, if we look at the next example, we've got wash, so that ends in SH, so we would add ES at the end. The cat crosses, our verb is cross, so that ends in SS, so we need to add ES. And then we have go, so go ends in an O, so we need to add ES. Okay. Now, the next one. If a verb ends in a consonant plus Y, so a consonant is any of those letters that are B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, all of those ones. If the verb ends in a consonant and a Y, for example, the word cry, C-R-Y, in that situation, we remove the Y and then we add IES on. Okay. All right. So that's how we do it in the positive. Or the negative, we take the subject, I or he, she, it, or we, they, you, and then we use don't or doesn't. and then the verb, but the verb doesn't change. It is just a verb on its own with no changes. Okay, so it would be something like I don't work and he doesn't go to school. So I don't, he, she, it doesn't, we, they, you don't. Okay. And when it comes to the question form, again, we use do or does. So do I, does he, she, it, and do we, they, you, plus the subject, and then plus the verb, and then a question mark. Okay. So if it is you we're talking about, it would be do you go, do you play, do you study? Okay. And if we have he, she, it would be does he, does she, does it. Okay. So that is how we make present simple. So let's think about how we use it. Okay. So we use present simple in basically 3 different situations. Okay. So one of the situations is for something that is a permanent state or situation. So something that is probably going to be true for the whole of the future. Okay. So we got the sentence here. He is 185 centimeters tall. Okay. That is probably going to be the same for the rest of time. Okay. She has blue eyes and blonde hair. If she has blue eyes now, she will probably have blue eyes in the future. So it's something that is permanent. Okay. You could say like, I am Romanian. So if you have a Romanian passport, it's probably going to be permanent. And then I work at Amazon, the same thing. Okay. Right. We also use present simple for things that are facts or things that are generally true. Okay. So water boils at 100 degrees. That's almost always true. The earth revolves around the sun. Okay. So again, this is something that is a fact. So if it is a fact like this, then it is present simple. Okay. And if something is a habit or a routine, then we normally use present simple. Okay, so if you have the word always or often, usually, sometimes, then you are gonna use present simple. So he always does his homework. I usually go shopping, or we sometimes have dinner. Okay, so we know how to make it. We know how to use it. Now it is time to do a little bit of practice. Okay, so on the screen, you have 10 sentences and they have the verb there. Okay, you just need to use the correct form of the verb to finish the sentence. Okay, so for example, in the first one, we've got the earth and then we have revolve. Now remember, the earth is it. So if that is true, it would be it. We need to put an S on the end. So it revolves around the sun. Okay. So I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes. Can you write down your answers? You can either do it on some paper or you can write it in the chat box. And then in a couple of minutes, we'll check to see your answers. Okay. Okay, so hopefully that was enough time for you guys to finish this here. So if you're okay, guys, can anybody tell me the answer for number two?
Boils.
Okay, boils. Thank you very much. Excellent. What do we oh yeah, thank you as well in the chat, guys, as well. What do we think for number three?
Teaches.
Okay, very good. And I see you guys in the chat box as well. Very good. Number four.
Conducts.
Ah, right. This is where we need to be careful here because it says, oh, very good, Malvina in the chat. So it says researchers. Now, researchers, let's just go back for a second. Researchers, is this I, he, she, it, or we, they, you? Researchers. So researchers are a group of people. So that would make it they, and then there is no S at the end. Yeah. Okay, so if we go back then, like Malvina says in the chat, it should be conduct. Conduct. Okay. Right, what do we think for number five then?
Opens.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Opens, lovely. Number six.
Haven't.
Yeah, you could use haven't, but it is much more common to use the form don't or doesn't. Okay, so what do we think then? Does anybody have it in the
Don't have.
chat? Okay, don't. Yeah, don't have.
Don't.
Very good. Very good. So students don't have access to the lab. Oh no, yeah, don't have access to the lab. Okay, number seven. Do we have any answers for number seven? Ooh, Malvina, very good. Yeah, it should be includes. Very good. Excellent. Number eight, we have two answers. Sorry, two spaces in number eight. So can anyone tell me what we should have in number eight?
Studies.
Studied.
Oh, okay, studies. Very good. And then the second one.
And plans.
And plans. Excellent. Very good. He studies and plans. So he studies, he plans. Okay, number nine. Does anyone want to help on that one? Number nine. Okay, Malvina, I see in the chat you have said provide. It is provide. Very good. Very good. Okay, now number 10. It is a question, so be careful with this one. Anyone want to go with this one, number 10?
Do you?
Okay, do you understand? Excellent. Do you understand the concept of quantum mechanics? All right. So well done, everybody there. If you got the right answers, well done. Super work. Okay, so in general, that is the easiest of the present tenses. So let's move on now to the next one, which is present continuous. And again, we are thinking about how we can make the present continuous. Does anybody want to help me here? How do we make present continuous? Come on, don't be shy.
Present continuous. It's like for example, now we are. So you are teaching us. That's mean present continuous.
Very good. That's a lovely example there. Excellent. Thanks for that. So I am teaching, you are studying, you are looking at the computer screen. I am looking at the computer screen as well. Okay, we are breathing, we are sitting, things like that. So well done. Good example. So that is all present continuous. And that is when we have the subject. So I, he, she, it, we, they, you. We have the verb to be in the right form. So I am, he, she, it is, and we, they, you are. And then we put the verb in the ing form. Okay, working, working, work. Oh, that first one should say working. All right, so it would be I am working, he, she, it is working, or we, they, you are working, if it is talking about the positive. So again, we need to think about the spelling here. So this is going to get super complicated now. So good luck with this one. So if the verb ends in an E, you remove the E and then add ing. So we got the example here of make. So make ends in an E. So if we make it into the continuous, we lose the E and then we add ing onto the end of it. Okay. All right. So that's one of the easier ones. Now it gets more complicated. So let's go slowly with this one. For verbs that end with a consonant preceded via a vowel. So that means if at the end of the word there is a vowel and then a consonant, then you double the consonant and add ing. All right. I think that needs a bit more explaining. So we have the verb here, swim. So the last two letters, we have I, which is a vowel. And then after the I, we have a consonant, which is M. If we have that situation, then we double the letter. Okay. Now, in another situation here, okay. Next thing we're talking about two-syllable verbs. Okay, so these are verbs that have two sounds here, like forget, 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 2 syllables. Okay, if the last syllable is stressed, so forget, forget. If the second syllable is stressed, then we double the consonant as well. So we got forget. So in this situation, we have forgetting with double T. Okay. Now, lastly, okay, if we have a verb, okay, if we have a verb that ends in IE, we change IE to Y, and then we add ING. So we have the word here, lie, okay. Okay. All right. So if you have a look at this one here, it is L and then IE. So in that situation, we change the IE to a Y and then add ING. Okay. All right. So those are a few different rules that we need to think about while we're spelling. Okay. Now, when we go into the negative, this is very, very easy because we just add in the word not. All right. So when before it was I am working, it now becomes I am not working. Okay. If it is he is working, we would change it to he is not working, etc. And then if it is a question, this is very, very simple. We just change the word order. So if you look here in the normal sentence, we have you are working. When it comes to the question, we change it to are you working? Okay, so you just change the order there. Okay, so now we know how to make it. Let's think about in what situations we use it. Okay, so like one of you said before, it is for situations when something is happening at this moment, at this second, now. Okay? So now I am talking to you. Now you are studying. Okay, I am speaking, you are listening. Okay, so those are things happening now. Okay, now it can also be for actions that are generally happening around now, but maybe not at this second. Okay, so it mentions he is studying hard for his exams these days. Maybe at this second he isn't studying, but today, yesterday, tomorrow, he's working hard. Okay. It is also for actions that are developing over time. So it tells us here the climate is getting warmer. Okay, so this happened in the past, it is happening now, and it's probably going to happen in the future as well. Okay, now this is a good one. This is another kind of fun situation where we can use present continuous. So if you are frustrated or annoyed with something that happens too often. Okay, so it gives us the example. She is always complaining about the weather. Okay, so this person is annoying you, is frustrating you because they are always doing this thing. Okay, so in that situation, the annoying thing is in the present continuous. Okay, so it could be, for example, your partner is always biting their nails. Okay, and you don't like it. So you would use present continuous for that. Okay, but there is another thing we need to think about here. Okay, there are some verbs that we cannot use in present continuous. Okay, and these verbs are called state verbs or stative verbs or something like that, something similar. Okay, so these verbs can only ever be used in simple, not continuous. Okay, so you might think that this is a great situation for me to use the continuous, but if the verb is a state verb, we can't use it. Okay, so we got some on the left, we got some on the right. Now, these are verbs that generally you can't see the action, you can't see any movement. It's probably inside the head. Okay, so we have the emotions like love, hate, like, prefer. You have the possessions like I have, I own something, I belong. Okay. You can have about cognition, so you know, believe, or understand something. And then for the senses, something seems, appears, or sounds. Great. So just to test this, we have a little example. It says here, I am knowing the answer. Is this correct? What do you think, guys? Tell me yes or no. Does anyone want to be brave and tell me?
I try. I
I
I
know
think
the
wrong.
answer.
Okay, so it is wrong. Yeah, this one is wrong. Very good. So no is a state verb, so it can't be used in the continuous. So we would have to say, I know the answer instead. Okay. Can we say I am loving pizza? No, because
No.
love, yeah, because no is a state verb, so it can't be used in the continuous. All right.
Pizza.
Yes, we all love pizza, I think. So it's time for you to do a little bit more practice here. Okay, so there are some sentences here on the screen. Now, some of them are correct, some of them are not, and you need to decide which ones are correct or not. So if they are correct, you don't need to do anything. But if they are incorrect, you will need to change them so they are correct. Okay, so again, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 minutes. You can write your answers in the chat and then we'll come back and check them. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, everyone. So let's see what kind of answers you have here. So for number one, do we think it is correct or incorrect?
I think it's correct.
You think it's correct? Okay. Anybody else have a different answer?
I think it's wrong. I am understand. So I understand the key concept in the lecture.
Okay, yeah. So this one is wrong here. It should just be I understand. I understand. Okay. Because understand is a state verb, so it shouldn't be continuous. But so it should be simple. But if it's simple, we don't have am. Okay. So I understand. Okay. Number two. What do we think?
It's correct.
It is correct. Well done. Very good. Number three. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Okay.
Could it be also like when it says, "Are you working on your thesis, or are you still gathering data?"
Ah, I like the way you think, because it should be. It should be that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
because the
you still?
question mark at the end, so it should be. Yeah.
Okay. So in effect, it's two separate questions. Are you working or are you gathering? Okay. So it's still a question. So you need to change the word order there. Right. Number four. What do we think? Correct or not?
Not.
It's
Oh.
not correct.
Okay. So what should it be? It should be
Are.
they
in front
are.
of
They
it.
are.
Okay. They are discussing. Wonderful stuff. Good, good, good. Okay. Number five. Yes or no?
Yes, it's correct.
Correct
Oh.
here.
Oh, okay. We got a difference of opinion here. So
The
Saeed, you
University
planning.
is planning.
is planning. There we go. Very good. So it's continuous. So we need the verb to be. So I am, he, she, it is, or we, they, you are planning. Okay, number six. What do we think?
I am working.
I am working. Very good. Thank you, Malvina there. Okay. And number seven. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Why do you say no, Saeed?
She's not leaving.
Ooh, okay.
He doesn't believe in, yeah?
Uh-huh. So what type of word is believe?
State verb. Stay.
Thank you. So if it's a state verb, it has to be in the simple form. So it should be she doesn't believe. Yeah. Okay. All right. So congratulations if you got all of those correct. Okay. So that is the present simple. So that means now we go on to the next stage of difficulty, which is present perfect simple. So you probably heard a lot about this if you studied it. If you studied English in high school, you probably saw this a lot, and it is possibly the most confusing of all of them. Okay, so let's go through it and let's see if we can get it sorted this time around. Okay, so we make present perfect simple by using the subject, I, he, she, it, we, they, you, using the verb have or has. So I have, he, she, it has, we, they, you have, plus the past participle of the verb, or some people know it as the third form of the verb. Okay. So, like swim, swam, swum. So you will need to use the third form, swam, or write, wrote, written. You need to use the third form here. Okay. So your subject, then have or has. So I have, he, she, it has, we, they, you have, or, plus the past participle of the verb. So that's if it's in positive. In the negative, you just drop in not in the middle. I have not. Or if you want to make it smaller, have not, haven't, or has not, hasn't. And in the question form, again, you just change the word order. So you have worked, you change it to have you worked. Okay, so you've got your example there of how to make it, but let's think about how we use it. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. But that's no problem. We're here to learn. So this is where it seems to not make sense, but it does. It does make sense, believe me. So we use present perfect simple for actions that occurred in the past, but the time is not specific. So all we know is that it happened in the past, but we don't say when it happened. Okay. So basically, we're just saying, like, in my life, this thing happened. Okay. So I have read that book. We know it is at some point behind us, but we don't say the exact time. Okay. So, for me, holiday, I have been to Germany. I have been to Spain. Okay. It doesn't matter when it happened. It's just something in my life. Okay. Another situation is when you talk about something that has recently finished. So maybe 1 minute ago, 10 minutes ago, an hour ago. And it's normally when you're using the word just. Okay. So maybe you see people coming out of a room and then you say to your colleague, they have just finished the meeting. Okay. It finished 10 seconds ago, something like that. Okay. It can also be for experiences which you have had in your life. Okay. So it can be kind of fun or memorable or exciting experiences you had in your life, and you're trying to tell it to other people. So I have swum with dolphins. I have parachuted. I have skied in the mountains. Okay. You would use present perfect for this situation. Okay. If you want to say how many times you have done something, you use present perfect simple. So we have visited that museum several times. Okay. I have visited Germany twice or something like that. So if you're saying how many times, you use present perfect simple. Okay. And then also, if you want to talk about growth over a period of time or change over a period of time, you use present perfect simple as well. Okay. So the company has grown significantly in the last 5 years. It started growing 5 years ago, and the last thing we saw, it was still growing. Okay. All right, and then a similar sentence to the one above for something that started in the past and then continues into the present. So I have lived here for 10 years. You started living here 10 years ago. You're still living here now. You use present perfect simple. Okay. Now, because it can be difficult to know when we use present perfect simple, it helps to remember the words that we use with it. So we've just looked at just. Just is when something happened a short time ago. Okay, so I have just eaten. Present perfect simple. We can use already. Already is when something happened sooner than you expected it to happen. Okay, so they have already left. You expected them to leave later, but they left before that. Okay, and we also have the word yet. So yet we use in negative sentences and with questions, kind of similar to already, but in negatives and questions. Okay, so have you finished the report yet? I haven't finished the report yet. Okay, so we've had a lot of information there. I think it's a good idea to, again, have a practice here. Okay, so you are given the verb in the sentences here. You just need to complete the sentences with the correct form of that verb in the present perfect simple. So you are going to be using, if we go back, has or have or have or has, and the past participle, the third form. Okay, so if we come back to the questions, you've got 10 questions. Can you complete them for me? You can write them in the chat, or you can tell me when I ask you. Okay, so 2 or 3 minutes, complete the activity, and then we'll check. Okay, so let's see what kind of answers you have. So does somebody want to tell me number one?
Completed.
Have completed.
Yeah, so just remember in here, it needs to be in present perfect simple, so it should be has completed. Yeah. Okay, so remember the research team is an it in this situation. Okay, right, number two.
Is it wrote
She-
or
She
written?
has
Has
written.
wrote.
Ooh, okay. So remember
She
here.
has written.
Yeah, so this is where we need the third form. So write, wrote, written. Written is the third form. So she has written. Okay. Now, number three, it's a negative one. So what do we need here?
Haven't
We haven't
read.
wrote.
We haven't read. Okay, so just be careful with the pronunciation there. We haven't read for the third form. Okay, number four.
The professor has taught.
Okay, the professor has taught. So remember, professor is he, she, or it. So the professor has taught. Okay. Number five for they. Anyone?
Have published.
They have published.
Okay, good. Good answers there. Excellent. The next one, number six.
I have never
I
saw.
have
Mm-hmm.
seen.
I have
Seen.
never
Okay.
I have never seen. So remember, it is see, saw, seen. Number seven is a question. So remember, you need to change the word order. So anyone?
Have you submitted?
Perfect. Excellent answer there. Good. Okay, number eight.
The department has already organized.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Okay, number nine.
My students have taken.
Very good. Very good. And the last one, it's a negative, number 10.
He hasn't attended.
He hasn't attended. Yes, he hasn't attended. All right. I think that was very good progress there, everyone. Well done. All right. Good work there. So I think we're ready to go on to the last one that we have here, which is present perfect continuous. So this takes some of the information from present perfect and some of the information from present continuous and puts them together in an idea. Okay, so we make this by using the subject plus have or has, just like present perfect, simple, been, and then ing. Okay, so it would be I have been working, I have been playing, I've been studying. He, she, it has been working, studying, or eating. And we, they, you have been sleeping, something like that. Okay, so that's in the positive. In the negative, we just add not. So I have not been working. I haven't been working. He has not been working. He hasn't been working. We have not been working. We haven't been working. And then as a question, again, we just change the word order. Okay. So I have been working would be, have you been working? Okay. So that is how we make it. So it's quite complex. Have or has been plus ing. So in what situations do we use it? Okay. So similar to the other one, for something that started in the past and continues now. Okay. I have been studying for 3 hours. So it started 3 hours ago and it continues now. Okay. It can be for something that has recently stopped, but you can see some result or some evidence in the present. So it says here, she has been working hard. So that means that she stopped recently and now she needs a break. So we can see something. Yeah, she looks tired, she's sweating, things like that. So in that situation, we use present perfect continuous. Okay, so another situation, for something that you're currently doing, but it will not last forever. It is something temporary. Okay? We have been living in London for the last few months. So at the moment, you're still doing it, but in the future, no. Okay, now the next one, for something that started in the past and continues now, but it has been happening many, many, many times, repeatedly. Okay, so it says here, he has been calling the office every day this week. So Monday he called, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now we're on Friday, he's calling again. So he has been calling many, many times. Okay, and if you want to make it super, super obvious how long something has been happening for, then this is where you use present perfect continuous. Okay. They have been working since March. I have been waiting for you for an hour. Okay. So if it's important to you how long it is, you use present perfect continuous. Okay. But there is a problem that comes with this. Like present perfect simple, present perfect continuous, they look very, very similar. But we're going to look at the differences in a second. Okay. But because present perfect continuous looks at how long, we normally use the word for. Okay. So for tells us about the length of time. Okay. I've been studying for 2 hours. Since tells us when the period started. So they have been working here since 2010. Okay. We can also use phrases like lately or recently. So that tells you about something that happened recently. Okay. And then the other ones, all day or week. If you use those, it means you have been doing that for the whole of that day or the whole of that week, etc. So, like I said, the differences between present perfect simple and present perfect continuous. Simple focuses on the thing that is completed, the result. Okay, so I have read this book. The important thing is that it is finished. Okay, but for the continuous, you're talking about how long, or you're saying that something is in progress. So it's probably not finished. Okay. So I have been reading this book for 2 hours. The important thing there is how long you were doing it. Okay. So in this next activity here, you need to write all of these sentences in present perfect continuous. So have or has plus been plus ing. Okay, so for example, the first one, collect, it would be has been collecting. Okay, so you're going to have to do that for all of the rest of these here. So what would it be for number 2 here, everyone? She
Has been
has been
working.
has been working. Good. Number 3.
I have been reading.
I have been reading. Good. Number 4.
The student has been preparing.
Okay, so just have a look at his students. So it is
It
Have.
have.
very, very good. Have been preparing. Okay, number 5.
Has been teaching.
Has been teaching. Lovely. Number 6.
We have
Have
been
analyzing.
analyzing.
Very good. Good. Number 7.
They have been discussing.
Good. Good. Now, number 8 is negative. Okay. But what is it?
I have not sleeping.
Okay.
I have not been
Sleeping.
Good. Have not been sleeping or haven't been sleeping. Number 9.
He has been studying.
Okay. Good. And then number 10.
Has been considering.
All right. Well done, everybody there. Okay. Clap, 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 clap. Well done. Okay. So Oh, yeah. Thank you. Very good. All right. So we are now going to put all of those things together. So we've got one final activity before we finish. So in this activity, we've got 10 questions. They give you the verb, and you need to decide if we are using present simple, present continuous, present perfect simple, or present perfect continuous. Now, this might be difficult, but have a look for the time phrases like just, already, yet. Have a look for for or since, things like that now at this moment, and they will help you to choose the right one. So let's look at number 1 together. It mentions every Monday and Wednesday. So this is something that is a routine. So which one do we use for routines?
Present simple.
Okay, very good. So Malvina, what is it then, the answer here?
Gives.
Oh, sorry, gives. Very good. Okay, so present simple for something that is regular. Very good. Number 2, we've got right now. So what's the answer for this one?
The
Are
students are
working.
working.
Okay, very good. So are working, present continuous for right now. Number 3, for the past 3 years. It's talking about duration for how long?
I
Any-
have studied.
It's possible, but so it is perfect, definitely. But there's one where we said if you really want to make it obvious you're talking about how long, you use present perfect.
Or
Okay. Have been studying. Okay. So yeah, if you want to say for how long, yeah, present perfect continuous. In number 4, we've got yet. So what do you think for this one?
she has not finished.
Very good, very good. Excellent stuff. Right, number 5, the university library, a wide range of academic journals. This is some kind of fact or truth. What do we use?
Present simple.
Okay, so what is it in present simple?
Yes.
Excellent, very good. So it is a fact, so present simple. Good, all right. Number 6, we've got since the beginning of September. So what should it be?
We have discussed.
Well, again, we're
We
talking
have
about
been discussing.
we have been discussing, yeah, because we're talking about the length of time, we should use present perfect continuous. Number 7, it says at the moment. Any answers?
Is reviewing.
Okay. Is reviewing. Excellent. Good, good, good. Okay, for 6 months in number 8. So what's the answer?
Past continuous.
Are
Okay.
collecting.
Well, again, we're talking about how
Have
Has
been. Has been collecting.
has been collecting. Yeah. So again, we're emphasizing how long something. So present perfect continuous. In number 9, we got 2 answers. It says, so for the first one, he usually. So what do we use with usually, always, sometimes, never?
present simple.
Present
He
simple.
usually submits.
Oh yeah, sorry. I did it before you answered that. Submits. Very good. Now this one says this week. So what do we think?
Struggling.
Okay, so he is struggling. Yep, very good. So this is a temporary situation. And then in number 10, we've got already. So which one do we use with already?
Has been.
Has been already.
Has, yeah. So it would be
Has already.
has already read, yeah, or has read already. Okay, so this is present perfect simple. All right. So well done, everybody there. You've made lots and lots and lots of progress and mostly accurate stuff there. So well done. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Saeed, for the clapping. That's good. So well done, everyone. I think you did really well there. Okay. So we're going to finish up in a second. If you have any feedback about our workshop today, then scan this QR code and you can leave your comments or views and things like that. If you would like some extra practice, so some extra activities for all of these things that we've just done, just scan the QR code and that will take you to some extra activities. And if you do ever need any other help with English related stuff in the future, please do contact us on that email address that is on the screen there. Okay, so English support _Manchester wh@esl.ac.uk. All right, so thank you everybody for today. And remember, oh, sorry, Tamara, you got a question?
Yeah, just quick question. Every Monday will be like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, yes?
Exactly. That's a very good question. I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, 10 o'clock and well, we have 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So if you can't do one of them, then you do the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
What time?
So generally for this group, we try to do 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock. But if you can't meet this one, then you do 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, just check the email that we sent to you, and it's always every Monday and the same links.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right then. So thank you very much, everybody, and see you next Monday. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
bye.